Okay, so today we're talking about ratings. Something that I don't think you fully appreciate. You are a slave to ratings. All of the content you watch, all the things you buy are mostly because of other people's ratings. But what is so odd about ratings is that they're not created equally. What I mean by this is, how good is a 7 out of 10? If I say something's a 7 out of 10, how good is that? You could say that it depends on what you mean by good, yada yada. But what I mean is, 7 out of 10 is different depending on what website you were on. A 7 out of 10 on YouTube, on IMDb, on Amazon mean completely different things. Which is so bizarre because these are all the same sort of thing. Why would they mean different things? That's what I'm going to explain to you today. I have pondered and researched this question for several minutes. So I'm pretty sure I know the answer. Before we get started though, we need to have some sense of what I'm even talking about. Let's go over some websites and their average rating. Makes sense? If you know what the average rating is, you know how effective a 7 out of 10 is or an 8 out of 10 is. Keep in mind, technically speaking, a perfect system would have like a 50% as an average. First off, let's start with the platform you're currently on. YouTube has a dislike ratio. It's not quite a rating, but it's pretty close. Has a like-dislike ratio of 90%. That's a crazy number. YouTube is a platform that has like tons of hate directed towards it. Yet somehow there's 9 likes to every dislike. All right, let's move on to a platform everyone likes. Pornhub. Classic stuff. This website is beloved. I mean, I've never seen negative PR about Pornhub. So you'd expect it probably about the same percent maybe. Well, according to the website, it actually has a rating of 80%, which again isn't too bad. Like, that's still crazy high. But this rating is actually kind of a lie. They kind of tricked you a little bit because what the website does is it takes every single video, takes all of the likes, and then averages it instead of averaging per video. And so obviously the popular videos have a lot more likes than the unpopular videos, and those are going to be higher rating. So it ends up being a higher number. From some basic research, it's around 75%. I think it's around 75-70%. Next up is Amazon. This is another website with somewhat questionable PR and another website with super high ratings. Amazon is a 4.4. That's crazy. So to make this comparable to everything else, that's an 88%. Pretty hot. Pretty suspiciously high, to be honest. Okay, next up we have 2 sites. One's a gaming site, one's a movie site, and they have surprisingly similar ratings. Like, very, very similar. Metacritic, the gaming site, has an average rating of around 68. IMDb, movie site, has an average rating of around 69. Funny enough. This is much lower than what we've seen so far. Alright, we're going to talk about the highest rating next, which, I mean, I think is pretty obvious when you hear about it. Uber has a pretty high rating. I don't think anyone's surprised by that. The average driver rating is a 4.8. 96%. So they're basically so far away from 50% that it is a meaningless rating. I don't even know what the rating even means. Like, everyone has between like a 4 and a 5. It's like kind of dumb to even have a rating, but whatever. All right, the final average rating we're going to look at is the App Store. The App Store is going to be the best one. The ratings are very weird. They have around a 3.9 or a 75%. There's so many reasons why there's like reasons why they're high and low, which makes them average out 7.5. But we'll get into that soon. All right. That's everything I said so far is basically true, from what I can tell. The next part is my theories. So these are these are great assault, but they are correct. They're right. I know for a fact they're right. The content expectation theory. I think the most basic idea for why ratings differ between platforms is the content. People simply have different expectations for different things. Like a movie, you're going to have much harsher judgment for. One thing is that you pay for it. Other thing is the hype. Movies and video games are like so hyped. There's like all these trailers, so you expect so much. So obviously you're going to end up falling short and rating it lower. Half the comments that are bad are like, I thought the hype would be so good and it's not. Exactly. That's the whole point. Keep in mind, it's actually pretty interesting because if you think about like a YouTube video, your only goal is that you don't see like 3 sponsors and like 2 merch plugs in it. That's like your expectations. These are like so low. That is explained why the ratings and likes are higher. And another thing is, if you think about IMDb, it's out of 10. And Metacritic is out of 100. When you have these much more fine-tuned systems, you're going to end up just being more nuanced in your rating. Like you can rate a 91 or 92 compared to yes or no. So obviously, this ends up making it actually more well-rounded. Like it's almost at 50%, which is, again, not a bad thing. I would say a good thing. Now, you might think that's the end of the video. Content. That's obviously why the ratings are different. Okay. But there's 2 video platforms. Pornhub, YouTube. Shouldn't they have the same exact ratings? Like, why is Pornhub then lower than YouTube? You should probably have 0 expectations for Pornhub. So why is it even lower? That's why the second factor matters. Affinity. Okay. Let's say, bored one day, you decide to watch a porn video. Fine with me. I'm not here to judge. You can expect a lot of things. Sometimes very weird content. But there's one thing you're not going to expect. The guy look at you in the camera and just say, that at all in a porn video. And it actually does make sense why they wouldn't say that. It wouldn't actually affect the like-dislike ratio on Pornhub. You see, when it comes to YouTube, you have an affinity towards the creator. You are subscribed to them. If I was a hot girl, you'd be simped to them. So telling someone, please like, is like a favor. It takes 2 seconds out of your day to like it. Like, why not? They put all this work in for you to have a free video. Can you just take 10 seconds of your time to like it? And you want to help the creator. It makes sense. Meanwhile, on Pornhub, you browse in incognito mode. So you have a guest account. No one knows who you are. The average time on Pornhub is 8 minutes. So you don't get recommendations. You're getting random videos of people you don't care about. So why do you feel the need to like it? And this is why the like-dislike ratio is lower. So let me show you a Pornhub comment here. Funny, I know. But what's also you'll notice about it is that it's not talking to the creator. It's in third person. Like the creator is not important. YouTube doesn't do that, right? You're basically talking to the audience here. That's how far away you are from the creator. This theory also checks out for things like Uber, which is a very personal experience. It takes a lot to stare a driver like in their eyes and be like, I'm gonna give you 2 stars. You just met them. You know them. It's very awkward to like hate them. Plus, you know how much it affects their life. So then they end up with very high ratings. This doesn't hold up as much though for something like Amazon. This is a product where someone paying does know the creator well. It's a new product every time, new creator. So it should be a lower rating. But again, it's at 88% average. So there's one like solid final factor that probably leads into this. Algorithms. All systems talked about right now are actually kind of bad, right? Your goal is, if you want to make something fair, is 50%. That's like a uniform random distribution. I don't know, some random terms, whatever. But companies benefit directly from it not being that. They directly benefit from it being higher. You end up wanting to buy products if they're all higher ratings. Plus, it would be horrifying if you got into a car for an Uber driver and he had 2 stars, even though that's his actual average. So most companies kind of view this as a win-win-win for everyone. So because of that, some ratings are not exactly real, so to speak. For example, Amazon, it's actually not an average of all reviewers. That's not what the rating is. If you see a 3 stars, it does not mean that people rated it between that and got 3 stars. They have a little algorithm that basically says what the rating should be. Now, the rating is kind of fair, but it will do things like it'll remove negative ratings if the user has a bunch of negative ratings. So again, like kind of cheap, kind of ups it up. They believe it's probably a win-win for everyone. Again, no one cares about the 50% thing, but it does explain why the number's so high. This idea can't really explain why like YouTube has such a high number, but I mean, it does explain any system that has like ratings. IMDb does the same thing with their ratings. It's a little higher than it actually should be. So you could probably take any rating you see on any site as a grain of salt. It isn't 4 out of 5 on Amazon. Don't think it is. But it's still probably pretty good products, and Amazon works and everything else. Now, there is one more factor that pretty much explains everything, but beyond all this. This is the main factor, I think, personally. The idiot factor. People are fucking dumb. That's why all the ratings are the way they are. People are so stupid. Now, we're gonna use one example for this because I think this is the best one. Yelp, the app. Their rating on the Play Store is a 4.1. Doesn't too crazy. But when you read the comments, you're like, oh my god, people are so stupid. So look at this. You see this right here? This isn't a rating of a product, like of a restaurant. This is a rating of the store. This boomer basically assumes if they write a rating in the App Store, it'll somehow become a rating in the restaurant they're talking about. They don't even mention the restaurant. They're just rating a random restaurant in the Apple Store. Or the Play Store. That's what I'm talking about. This is the whole problem. People are stupid. All ratings are dumb. But they do work sometimes and, whatever. So, end of the day, that's why ratings are different. People are dumb. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, whatever the fuck. See ya.